Did you ever have a tagline? Something you used to say that was catchy?
Signature.
No, that is 15 years ago. But when I remember, I will tell you.
Okay.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
This is the Blue Radio, and the show is the Breakfast Vibe. You hang out here with Simon Frost and, of course, my co-host here.
My name is Diana Omwoyo.
Yes, we've been graced here by the Chief Executive Officer of Media Council of Kenya, Mr. David Omwoyo. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
What brings you to Mombasa?
Well, many things. One was to attend the training of the public communication officers in government institutions, counties, and independent offices. Mm-hmm. Second is to visit our offices, the Media Council region offices in Mombasa, and find out also the state of the media in the region. And that is to at least look at the ocean and see how it looks.
Awesome, welcome. What is the effectiveness of training these PCIOs?
Maybe we'll start by asking, why are we training them?
Yes.
We operate under one government approach, and from the Media Council, we are usually interested in the media and government relations. We felt that therefore it's important that we bring all government communications offices and officers together so that we give them new skills. It's about retooling under the new skills, technology, new government and approach and all that. Mm-hmm. Because it's important to understand that when the public engages with a government communication officer, whichever level, the Kenyan knows anaongea na serikali. That one person is the official representative of government at that time. Yes. Mm-hmm. So the whole idea is to tool the people, whoever they are, whichever level they belong to an institution, so that they can now know how to communicate government policies, how to make government plans ideally known, but most importantly, and where the Media Council comes in, ensure that there is a free flow of information between public bodies and the media, because that lack of information causes a lot of tension between government and the media, and that's what we are trying to counter.
Yeah, would you say that is part of our Media Council trying to enhance or putting the foot in devolution, the media in devolution? Yes,
we have been doing a lot of getting the media in devolution. Number one, starting 3 years ago, we opened 4 regional offices, Mombasa being one of them, then Kisumu, then Meru and Nakuru. Over the next 2 years, we're opening additional 3 offices in different parts of the country. Mm-hmm. And then now we are training people, including those at the counties, because our constitution demands that we operate in Nairobi and other parts of the country. And many of the services and many Kenyans living in the counties. And so it is the role of the Media Council, both constitutionally as a requirement and in spirit, to support the devolution story in the counties where the people are. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you've said you're in 4 counties already.
Yes, but we are not looking at them as counties per se, but regions.
Or regions.
Yes.
So in the regions, that's where you train the counties surrounding, or how does that go about?
Like here, we have all the counties, people from across the country.
Okay.
Prestatives and all that. Mm-hmm. In the regions where we offer services, like when we have a regional office in Kisumu, it takes care of the entire western region. Okay. We have an office in Mombasa here. It takes care of the entire coast region and all that. So really, our offices are not based on the geographical boundaries, but it's a regional boundary in the sense of you take care of the issues there. Like if we have issues from Kilifi, Malindi, Tana River and all that, instead of handling them from Nairobi, they are able to be handled on the ground. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, in the spirit of embracing change, there is the digital audio broadcasting, which is the recent trend. Ours being an example of that, and on radio. What are the steps taken by Media Council to embrace these changes?
Mnajisifu sana. Well, the truth of the matter is that technology is inevitable. Yes. You can't find technology, you have to embrace it end to end. To start with, you've seen that government saying, services must go digital.
Yes.
At the Media Council, all our services are principally digital, from application for accreditation, you apply for internship, how we do our stories, the payments and all that is digital. Yes. And secondly, when you do digital here, what it does is the Media Council, our work is principally to spread knowledge and to train people and then support when we see such initiatives. So first of all is access to information. Make sure that the media know that there is digital content production and distribution, the technologies thereof, and support whatever, because we have ad hoc partnerships with the local and international partners. When they want to support, we do that ad hoc when we are able. So principally, our first role is information dissemination. And secondly is supporting such initiatives. And thirdly is getting even the media consumers now, who are the publics, to understand that beyond waiting for your channel in the evening, you can access media on the go.
All right.
Yeah.
So amid the proliferation of digital information, how is the council addressing the media information literacy in the country?
We have a very big program on media information literacy. Number one, we do town hall meetings where we bring together journalists and the media consumers and government officers to discuss media information literacy and people to understand. We also are starting a program in schools where we are also educating the youth and the content producers about how to understand and consume media and all that. And thirdly, which is a big thing we do, we debunk misinformation and fake news. We have the iVerify platform, which we started before the elections, and we follow so that we debunk and educate people about disinformation and malinformation across, which is quite common because now everybody is a producer of content.
Yes.
And fourthly, also we do through our Media Observer, which comes out weekly. We try to critique, of course, satirically, the media's actions the previous week to show them what they would have done, so that they can pick issues of how they would have gone further to verify. We encourage them to move further and do more fact checking, do more research, and yes. So it's really a set. We have principally a big concept of proliferation of misinformation, countering disinformation, both in media and other open and social spaces. Yes.
And what would you say is the success since we started iVerify?
Extreme success, because we do we flag out misinformation and malinformation. Therefore, we do two things. When it is the media or content producers, they are careful next time because they know someone is watching. Secondly, when it's a consumer person just scouring the social networks for this, they realize that, okay, so I shouldn't believe everything. So apart from knowing that this information was not accurate, they therefore realize that next time we should do a little more verification before we broadcast or follow up information and all that. Yes, so it is successful in the sense that social media and technology advancements are moving rather fast. But on the other side also, the public information and media information literacy programs are also moving quite fast to catch up. We have to, however, regret that sometimes technology moves faster than we can move. But as long as we are on deck, and moving and making sure that people are informed. So both the producers of the content and the consumers of the content are well aligned. Yes.
Okay. In the Constitution, we have been it has been allocated for the journalists the press freedom, but we've seen recently the violation of the rights of the journalists as a whole, or the journalism family or the faculty. What is the Media Council doing to help safeguard these rights and the safety of journalists, aside from releasing press statements condemning such violations?
Of course, our full-time job is protecting press freedom, so we do a lot of that. It's not just releasing statements. That is called advocacy. Yes. When we release statements, then we draw attention to different actors locally and internationally about what is happening.
Yeah.
Because those actors will include the United Nations international bodies, the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, and others to do the same. Because the Media Council, we cannot arrest people.
Yes, sure.
And we have no permission to carry a rungu and beat people in town. So our work is principally advocacy. But secondly is that we engage a lot on press freedom. We do the tracking so that because Kenya gets ranked at the UN according to the annual Press Freedom Index, they rely on the Media Council Press Freedom Violation Register. Yes. We train journalists on their own safety. Yeah. We have a very big project on training media on their own safety and all that. You've seen us providing jackets for visibility and all that. We lobby. We have had meetings with the DPP and the police so that we get perpetrators arrested and all that. Through the Complaints Commission, we have demanded that when equipment is destroyed, it gets returned or compensated
Compensated,
thereof. And we run a press freedom fund, which is a forever question when a journalist is under threat. Because sometimes somebody is under threat and we cannot identify the threat because of the political nature and the amorphous nature of the threats. We realize that we need to quickly evacuate the journalist to a safe house, take care of their family and all that. So really we do a broad set of things.
All right.
Yes.
So going back to technology and this time social media, so it is an economic asset as per now, and there has been a perspective on the proposal to ban one of the social media platforms, that is TikTok. Maybe you can tell us what is your thought on that, the efforts to enhance content regulation in the country.
I have one reply to the calls of people to ban a platform. Maybe we should also close the roads because there are accidents on the highway. Yes, because this is just a platform.
Yes.
We need to educate and empower the guys who are coming there to be ethical, and then try to empower also the consumers to be able to pick out what is good information and what is bad.
Yep.
Because if we move around, start closing roads because roads have caused accidents and all that, we will be stuck. So it's an entire, it falls within the media information literacy program and all that. But then number two, also the issue of regulation. We have to be careful not to over-regulate. If you study internet governance, there's something they call the law of the horse. And the discussion is about, are we going, you have seen me having a little chat on Twitter with my friend Ezekiel Mutua when he said we should set a regulatory body for TikTok. Then I said, are we going to set up a new regulatory body for every new technology?
Yeah.
That goes to the law of the horse. Are you going to set a new law for every animal, or you're going to set principal rules and guidelines for all animals about, how to protect one animals domestically and all that? Yes. And that therefore takes me to, we should regulate, but mostly it's about ethics and principalities. Because, TikTok was just there. Wakenya wakaamua kutoa nguo na kujimwaga huko. You don't blame TikTok? Yeah. I've seen the same madness on Twitter. Or X, it's called X nowadays. I've seen the same madness on Facebook. It's actually was even on WhatsApp, even in groups, where people misforward messages that are not meant for the places and all that. Yeah. So then therefore we should ban all technologies and go home and sit down. So ideally it's about ethics and knowing that the broadest sense of technology, it has allowed accessibilities and people to move across and people to share information, really get ethics, people to know what they can share, and also train the consumers to know what they can perceive or stop, and then also empower, because I like that we have a serious attempts at self-regulation and moderation from the platform owners. I've seen that if you share misinformation on certain platforms like Facebook or X now, they're able to flag it and slow it down. If you put pornography,
explicit content,
yes, explicit content, they will first of all, flag it, and then they ask people, if you want to, you must be certain ages and all that. That's about sharing, because otherwise then we are going to stop everybody from doing anything, and then we will still have a few perverts in society here and there. So educating the consumers, talking about child protection. If you look at channels like Google and YouTube, they have children channels and all that, where certain content is moderated. Yes. So beyond regulation is content moderation, because it's a very thin line between regulation, between freedom of expression, and gagging people from talking. So it's a very thin line, and if you want to go into the entire thing of stop people from doing this and all that, then we better shut them down. So really, it's a matter of balancing the two, so that you don't gag and totally stop people from expressing themselves, but still then the issue of child online protection, the issue of respect for diversities, and then freedom of expression. So it's really a discussion that we having and balancing, and also it's the actions. Many of us have to do things. We are here, the regulators, we have guys, we have the content moderators, we have then the consumers and all that. It is let's call it an inclusive societal process. Yes.
So would the balance be one of the challenges that media content regulators face or are facing right now?
Yes, content regulators have many challenges and many advantages. You wanted to regulate a platform, but the platform is based in the US. So you cannot set rules in Mombasa or Kangemi for people working from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So it's about technology and the internet has broken down boundaries as we know them.
Yep.
Then you want to, it goes the whole way of trying to stop the internet or anything, but then people have VPNs and they have multiple suppliers and satellites which you have no control over.
Yeah.
So it's a myriad of challenges, but we need to get certain broad principles so that you allow freedom of expression on technology and the internet, but at the same time allow moderate content so that we do not have harmful content. We do not have hate speech. We do not have, self-harming content on the internet and or technologies. Yes.
Some very interesting conversations here off air with our guest, the CEO of the Media Council of Kenya, Mr. David Omwoyo. Now that you're in Mombasa, let's talk about, you're in Mombasa, closer to the ocean. Let's switch gears to the blue economy. The government has been advocating for blue economy, the president introducing a whole ministry in the same. Through your regional coordinator, you've announced that you'll be doing training for journalists on the same?
Yes. Very principally, first of all, is to draw the attention of stakeholders of the opportunities available in the blue economy, what the ocean has to offer, first as a resource in itself, and secondly as a facilitator. Because because people look up to the media to provide information on new emerging trends and opportunities. So we think that first of all is give the journalists the tool to understand the opportunities available in the blue economy space, so that then the media can move further and educate Kenyans about what it is and what they can do and how they can benefit from the opportunities, the funding, the partnerships provided by the ocean beyond just swimming at Mangina Beach.
So when will the training commence?
I think a lot of that is ongoing already. I think we had one last week,
Yes.
but then we will have a series of them throughout the year. But I know that it's not one; it is a series of them. And when you talk blue economy, you're not just talking about the Indian Ocean. We have a bit of this down in the shores of Lake
Victoria.
and all that. So we will have a series of it's a full year program in the initial phase. First of all is training. And number two, we provide grants, story writing grants for journalists to go and, interrogate certain stories with a little depth so that people can get to know. So it's a full year program. You get in touch with our office. We will have, so in case one happened last week, maybe there's another one coming next week, or we have another one coming in Kisumu and all that. It's really a series of this. And I anticipate we have sort of partnership or two. We may want to do them regionally. Because this ocean connects all the way from Somalia down to Dar es Salaam, so we have multiple countries on board. So we may want to go regional also.
Right, and of course now that Blue Radio is also one of the people, or one of the guys in the industry who have decided to take it up as a whole. What is your take on that?
I think you painted the color blue this morning, but it's okay.
No.
I would advise that you get time, get a concept on what you want to do, then you sit down with our team so that we plan out well from training. Then we see what stories can be interrogated, then we see what interviews can be run, because I believe that Blue Radio haijafunguka tu kwa sababu blue economy, it's a little more, isn't it? So I think the best thing is that it's possible, because I said we are running a full year program. Best thing is look about what you need with capacity building, program production, grants, a few travels for you journalists and people to go and understand, learn, and know what to do. So I think that is it's an opportunity that exists.
Yep.
And you have an office, the Media Council has an office around.
Yes.
So you quickly get to, yes.
Yeah, so there are every year graduates. There are graduates in different universities, and most of them are journalist students. And, most of them are sending messages asking, what is the Media Council doing to support their professional growth of them as emerging journalists to become the who's and who's in the country?
We can do what we can. And that's all we really. I will give you an example. You know that we run an internship program.
Yeah.
Later tomorrow, I think, or tonight, we're going to announce our cohort of 140 interns who we're going to place in media houses across the country for 3 months. We picked 140 from a pool of 1,500. So we couldn't manage 10% of the people coming. So the reality is that we have more applicants that we can take in.
Yeah.
So number one is that we urge that we have more partner, because we have so far 68 partner media houses that take those people. We urge that we can take a little more, because then eventually we end up taking about 600 people per year. We have also sought, when we get more partner media houses, we'll be able to ask more people to go and interrogate. But most important is that throughout, in the previous cohort of 1 year, we had about 700 interns, and about 45 of them got absorbed, and they now remained there. They did so well until they,
Retained.
They were retained. That's the best we can do. Give you the fresh graduate an opportunity to interact with the market. And after that, unajitetea. Yes,
Kazi ni kwako.
yes, because MCK cannot employ all of you. We cannot give you a few of your opportunities, and it's a part of the success stories that when we give, you go out and you succeed, then we're happy.
Hey. Kazi ni kwako.
Kazi ni kwako. Out there, you make sure you visit the MCK offices or their website, that is.
Yes.
Yeah. We thank you for your time, actually.
It was a pleasure.
We hope you visit us again soon.
Thanks.
But there's a question that has just been sent. Let me just read it out.
Yes.
Someone is asking, what is the process to accredit a freelancer who is just doing some YouTube videos?
Same.
Go
to the Media Council accreditation portal. You are a freelancer, attached there. It's the same process. And our process is very simple. Immediately you do that and pay and all that, you immediately can print an immediate temporary card there as you wait for 2-3 days to go to the office and pick yours.
So they do not need to go through any training. This is someone who has not gone through a journalism class.
Oh, boss, you have to go through a simple training. We have our training department headed by Christine Goku. We call it Journalism 101. We give you all the basics of media and journalism, and then the code of ethics, code of conduct for practice of journalism. Yeah. It's a short course. We do that. It takes about 2 weeks. We do those cohorts. So immediately they go and apply or send an inquiry to the info@mediacouncil.or.ke. They'll be told the next time we do that. So we do allow it, because also media houses identify talent and employ people who have not undergone journalism and ethics training.
Yeah.
So when that happens, then we have, because already the media owner has seen you and trusted and liked your talent, when they apply for accreditation, we take you through that training. So anybody interested should quickly send the inquiries and all that. And now that they asked, we would be asking the training team to maybe organize the next cohort of training here for those who want.
Yeah.
And then you go through the training, you do a bit of assignments and all that, then you're given accreditation, because then you commit to follow the code of ethics, because you already have basic understanding of ethics of society. The code of ethics of journalism is basically about ethics of society, what privileges and rights you have, and how to respect people and let them enjoy in their space and all that. Yes.
All right. And of course, you have been a journalist yourself.
I still am, so I think.
Maybe you can give us your journey as we wind up, because we just know you as a CEO of Media Council.
No. I headed the journalism club in the little school at the foot of the mall called Stoito Secondary School. I used to do, the more assembly bulletin. The normal assembly bulletin and all that. Then from that, I used to do bulletins for the local parish.
In church,
because we would have, the normal excursions and all that. So that helped me. I got a scholarship after Form 4. I got a scholarship. I was the altar boy. Then I was the youth chairman of the local church, the West. Then I got a scholarship to go and study media from friends in Ireland, because the priest was an Irish by then. We couldn't afford to pay fees for myself, because I made money from trapping moles and porcupines. You couldn't manage to go to university. So then I managed to go train. I came, had a stint to the Standard newspaper, briefly in Nairobi. Worked for the Seed magazine, the Catholic Information Service for Africa, and Vatican Papers, Osservatore Romano, and all that. So as a journalist, while I wasn't in the mainstream political newspapers, I wrote a lot from the region, from Somalia and all that, for international publications in Ireland and Italy and all that. Went back to the UK for my master's, came, taught a bit, started a radio station, then quickly got into management of journalists and not the normal writing.
Yeah.
But yes, I have been through the basics of kuishiwa and kalamu inaisha.
Content inapotea.
Notebook kana kuisha. I've run radio. I have been a news reader on a local radio station. Then did a program. Actually, I used to do also a program on, we call it Tafrija's Waumini, or Catholic music, down in Radio.
Did you ever have a tagline? Something you used to say that was catchy?
Signature.
No, that is 15 years ago. But when I remember, I'll tell you. I'll do a bit of those. So really, I rose through and all that. Just that then I got into media management, managing a network of Catholic radio stations, including Radio Tumaini here in Mombasa, Malindi, Tana River, and all that.
Yeah.
And then got into media regulation. Now I look at how journalists work. I try to make sure they work well and try to facilitate them, that they are protected and all that. Yes.
So in your over 15 years of...
Unapunguza ni 18. Okay, no, 20 now. From 2003, 2023, 20
years.
You
Yeah.
have 20 years in journalism.
Yes.
What is one thing that you would tell a young journalist right now as we wind up?
There is, I would say, two things. Number one, there is always space for good quality journalism. Number two, technology and change are constant. So be creative. And finally, number three, the tradition of big media house is collapsing. You can be a good content generator as long as you have good values and you stick to facts and all that. You will get enough readership or listenership, and you'll be able to make money out of it.
Wow. Great. Thank you so much for gracing our studios today.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.